What if I told you that a small Japanese company, created to serve a mining business over a century ago, would one day go on to dominate the global construction and mining equipment industry? How did a humble ironworks operation, built to cater to a single industry, evolve into the powerhouse that is Komatsu today? Komatsu's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. From its modest beginnings in the early 20th century, this company has grown to become a global leader in the construction and mining machinery markets, all while overcoming the harshest of challenges: wars, fierce competition, and ever-evolving technology. But how did a company born in the quiet hills of Japan's Ishikawa prefecture go from being a regional supplier to a key player on the world stage? Through a series of groundbreaking innovations, bold decisions, and relentless ambition, Komatsu defied the odds. It didn't just survive, it thrived. Along the way, it introduced some of the most revolutionary machinery the world has ever seen. And its story is one of resilience, vision, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Let's dive into the untold story of Komatsu, an incredible journey of transformation, triumph, and an unyielding commitment to shaping the future of heavy machinery. Komatsu's story begins in 1917, in the heart of Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan, with the establishment of Komatsu Ironworks by the Takeuchi mining industry. At the time, Japan was still in the early stages of industrialization. The country's economy was primarily driven by traditional industries like textiles, but mining had begun to emerge as a key sector, fueling the demand for specialized machinery. The Takeuchi family, who had long been involved in the mining business, saw an opportunity to improve the efficiency of their operations. Maitaro Takeuchi, the visionary leader behind the project, understood that in order to stay ahead of the competition, they needed to innovate rather than relying solely on imports of heavy machinery from Western countries. Maitaro decided to create an in-house manufacturing arm. This decision to build Komatsu Ironworks was a bold move, one that would soon prove to be a game-changer for the company and for Japan's industrial future. In the early days, the company focused on producing machine tools and mining equipment specifically for the Takeuchi mining industry. The market was still underdeveloped, and competition from Western manufacturers was fierce. But what set Komatsu apart was its unwavering commitment to quality and innovation. Despite Japan's industrial challenges and economic instability, Komatsu quickly built a reputation for reliability and precision. Maitaro Takeuchi's strategic decision to focus on producing durable, high-performance machinery laid the foundation for Komatsu's future success. In its early years, Komatsu faced significant challenges that threatened its ability to survive in a competitive and rapidly changing industrial landscape. Japan's economy was still recovering from the effects of World War I, and many industries, including mining and construction, were struggling to modernize. Western manufacturers, with their advanced technology and decades of experience, dominated the global market, making it seem almost impossible for a small Japanese company like Komatsu to compete. However, Maitaro Takeuchi, the driving force behind Komatsu, saw these challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to innovate and create something truly extraordinary. One of Komatsu's first major breakthroughs came in 1924, when the company developed a groundbreaking 450-ton sheet-forming press. This was a significant milestone in Japan's industrial history, as it demonstrated Komatsu's ability to design and manufacture large-scale, complex industrial equipment. At the time, the sheet-forming press was an advanced piece of machinery that had never been seen before in Japan. It marked the company's entry into the world of high-performance manufacturing and solidified its reputation as an engineering powerhouse. The development of the 450-ton press was a testament to the company's commitment to innovation and its willingness to push the boundaries of what was possible. But even with such impressive advancements, Komatsu's path was far from smooth. The global market was dominated by powerful Western companies with far greater resources. The competition was fierce, and Komatsu's ability to compete was constantly tested. But rather than bowing to the overwhelming dominance of these established giants, Komatsu chose to focus on what set them apart: their ability to innovate. By constantly refining their processes and improving the design and performance of their machinery, Komatsu was able to gain a foothold in the market and begin to carve out a niche for itself. As the 1930s approached, Komatsu faced another critical challenge: Japan's rugged terrain. Traditional tractors, which were widely used for agricultural and construction purposes, were not well suited for Japan's unique landscape. The country's mountainous terrain and uneven ground made it difficult for conventional machinery. Opportunity for innovation. Komatsu set out to develop a machine that could handle the country's demanding terrain: the crawler-type tractor. In 1931, Komatsu introduced Japan's first crawler-type tractor, a revolutionary piece of machinery that would change the construction and agricultural industries forever. Unlike traditional tractors, which relied on wheels for traction, the crawler-type tractor featured continuous tracks that allowed it to maintain stability and traction on even the roughest surfaces. This innovation gave Komatsu a significant competitive edge, particularly in Japan's rugged countryside, where the tractor's ability to navigate rough terrain proved invaluable. It was an engineering marvel that not only boosted the company's reputation, but also paved the way for its expansion into new markets. By the time Komatsu introduced the crawler-type tractor, the company had already demonstrated its resilience and commitment to innovation. The development of the 450-ton sheet forming press and the crawler-type tractor were two of the company's most significant early milestones, both of which established Komatsu as a force to be reckoned with in the global machinery market. Despite the fierce competition from Western manufacturers, Komatsu's focus on consistent innovation and its ability to overcome the challenges of its time allowed the company to grow and thrive in an industry that was still in its infancy in Japan. Through these early breakthroughs, Komatsu proved that success was not just about having more resources or a larger workforce. It was about having the vision, the ingenuity, and the determination to push forward in the face of adversity. These qualities would continue to define the company's growth as it expanded its reach and evolved into one of the world's most influential manufacturers of heavy machinery. As Japan entered World War II, Komatsu faced a turning point that would test its resilience and adaptability. With the outbreak of war, the entire industrial landscape shifted. Like many other companies, Komatsu was called upon to support the war effort. The company had to pivot its focus from civilian machinery to military production, adjusting its operations to meet the enormous demands of wartime production. The shift was not easy. The company, which had built its reputation on producing mining and construction equipment, now faced the challenge of rapidly converting its factories and workforce to produce artillery shells, military vehicles, and specialized machinery. Yet, Komatsu's leadership, particularly under Meitaro Takeuchi, saw this as an opportunity to demonstrate the company's engineering prowess and adaptability. Komatsu's precision engineering and established reputation for quality would become a key asset in meeting the urgent needs of Japan's military. One of Komatsu's most significant contributions during this period was its production of anti-aircraft artillery AAA shells. These shells played a crucial role in Japan's defense strategy. Designed to intercept and destroy enemy aircraft, Komatsu's engineers applied their expertise to produce these munitions with meticulous care, ensuring that each shell met the highest standards of reliability and effectiveness. The company's ability to deliver such critical components on time and to the required specifications demonstrated Komatsu's capacity to rise to the challenge and contribute to Japan's wartime efforts. In addition to artillery shells, Komatsu also began producing specialized machinery for military use. One notable example was the Model 1 ground leveling machine. Produced in 1943, this machine, a prototype bulldozer, would later become the foundation for the bulldozers used by Japan's military forces. The development of this machine marked another important achievement for Komatsu, showcasing its ability to innovate under pressure. But perhaps the most remarkable achievement during the war came when the Japanese government made an urgent request for Komatsu to produce a large earth-moving bulldozer to support the construction of military fortifications and airstrips. Despite the tight timeline and scarcity of resources, Komatsu's engineers worked around the clock and completed the project within an astonishing 1-month period. This bulldozer, known as the G40, became Japan's first official bulldozer and was equipped with a revolutionary hydraulic-driven blade system, an innovation that would change the future of construction machinery. Komatsu's ability to adapt its operations and engineering capabilities during the war not only helped the company survive, but also positioned it as a crucial player in Japan's post-war recovery. The war effort tested Komatsu's resolve and innovation, and the company emerged stronger, with its manufacturing capabilities further honed. This period of wartime production laid the foundation for Komatsu's future success, proving that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, the company's spirit of innovation and dedication to quality could not be defeated. The end of World War II marked a profound moment of change for Komatsu, a company that had thrived in the midst of war, yet now faced the daunting task of reinvention. Japan, devastated by the war, lay in ruins. Its industrial landscape had been severely impacted, with factories repurposed for wartime production and a workforce stretched thin. In this environment, Komatsu had to adapt to a new world order. It needed to transition from a manufacturer of military equipment to a supplier of civilian machinery, a shift that would define the company's future. For Komatsu, this was not just a challenge. It was an opportunity to rethink its role in a post-war Japan that was desperate for reconstruction. Maitaro Takeuchi, whose vision had carried the company through the wartime years, recognized the potential for Komatsu to lead Japan's rebuilding efforts. The country's infrastructure had been severely damaged, and the demand for construction machinery was at an all-time high. Komatsu could not afford to sit back and wait for things to return to normal. Instead, it embraced the need for innovation, pivoting its focus to meet the pressing demands of a devastated nation. In 1947, Komatsu unveiled its first major post-war innovation, the Komatsu D50 bulldozer. This bulldozer was designed to perform critical tasks in the reconstruction process, including clearing debris from collapsed buildings and aiding in typhoon disaster relief efforts. Equipped with a powerful diesel engine and robust steel components, the D50 was engineered to handle Japan's challenging and diverse terrain. From mountainous regions to urban construction sites, its reliability and strength made it an essential tool in the rebuilding of Japan's infrastructure. The D50 bulldozer also marked Komatsu's first major step into the global construction machinery market. The company's success with this machine established its reputation as a leader in heavy machinery and opened the door to further innovations. At a time when the global economy was reeling from the effects of the war, Komatsu's ability to produce durable, high-performance machines signaled its readiness to compete on a larger stage. The D50 bulldozer's success not only helped Japan rebuild its cities and industries, but also set Komatsu on a path toward becoming an internationally recognized name in the construction machinery market. As Komatsu entered the post-war years, it also began the process of rebuilding its factories. The Owazu plant, which had been temporarily shut down during the war, was reactivated in 1948 as the center of Komatsu's heavy machinery production. This was a pivotal moment in the company's transformation, as the Owazu plant became the heart of Komatsu's efforts to meet both domestic and international demand for construction equipment. During this time, Komatsu also began producing diesel engines on a large scale, further solidifying its position in the market. The post-war years were a time of rapid growth and expansion for Komatsu. The company's ability to quickly adapt to the changing needs of the market was instrumental in its success. By the early 1950s, Komatsu was firmly established as a leader in Japan's construction equipment industry, with its machinery playing a vital role in rebuilding the country's infrastructure. But the company's ambitions didn't stop there. Komatsu began to look beyond Japan's borders, aiming to expand its presence internationally. The post-war transformation of Komatsu was not just about the machinery it produced. It was about the company's ability to reinvent itself in the face of adversity. Komatsu took the devastation of the war and turned it into a catalyst for innovation and growth. By positioning itself as a key player in Japan's reconstruction efforts, Komatsu was able to build a foundation that would support its future as a global powerhouse in the heavy machinery industry. The challenges of the post-war years became the driving force behind Komatsu's remarkable reinvention, positioning the company to lead the world in construction machinery for decades to come. As the post-war years brought unprecedented growth for Komatsu in Japan, the company's vision quickly expanded beyond its domestic borders. Komatsu's leadership, guided by Meitaro Takeuchi's foresight, recognized that to become a global leader in the construction machinery industry, the company would need to scale its operations and expand its reach to international markets. With the foundation built through years of innovation and the success of machines like the D50 bulldozer, Komatsu was poised to enter a new phase of global expansion. The 1950s and 1960s would be a time of bold moves, new markets, and strategic partnerships. The first step in Komatsu's journey toward international growth was the establishment of new production facilities. In the early 1950s, Komatsu began setting up plants not only to meet Japan's growing domestic demand, but also to prepare for the company's first steps onto the global stage. In 1951, Komatsu moved its headquarters to Tokyo, a commercial hub that positioned the company closer to key international markets. At the same time, the company expanded its manufacturing footprint within Japan, opening new plants such as the Osaka plant in 1952. By 1952, Komatsu was also establishing a broader network of factories, including facilities in Kawasaki and Hime, further cementing its position as a major industrial player in Japan. Komatsu's next major leap came when it began to export its machinery beyond Japan. In 1955, the company made its first significant export of construction equipment to Argentina, a move that marked the beginning of its international expansion. Komatsu's entry into South America was a strategic one, as the region was emerging as a key market for construction and mining equipment. By shipping motor graders and hydraulic presses to Argentina, Komatsu demonstrated its ability to compete with established Western brands in global markets. The success in South America laid the groundwork for Komatsu's future growth in international markets, and the company quickly followed up with a major entry into Europe. In 1956, Komatsu made its first significant move into Europe with the introduction of the shovel loader, a versatile machine that would become a staple in both the construction and mining industries worldwide. The shovel loader's success was a turning point for Komatsu, as it gained a solid foothold in a market dominated by Western giants like Caterpillar and Liebherr. Komatsu's expansion into Europe didn't stop with the shovel loader. By 1967, the company had established its first overseas subsidiary, Komatsu Europe SA, in Belgium. This was a strategic decision, as it allowed Komatsu to produce and sell machinery locally, bypassing the challenges of shipping and import duties. The European market, which had long been dominated by American and European manufacturers, was now open to Komatsu, and the company quickly became a serious competitor in this space. By the late 1960s, Komatsu's international reach had expanded further. The company not only established subsidiaries across Europe, but also entered new markets in Asia, including China and India. In 1958, Komatsu entered into a technical partnership with India's Ministry of Defense to locally manufacture tractors, which marked the beginning of Komatsu's long and profitable relationship with India. The Indian market, in particular, would become a key driver of Komatsu's global strategy in the coming decades. Strategic partnerships also played a key role in Komatsu's success. In the early 1960s, Komatsu entered into licensing agreements with several key American companies, including Cummins Engine Company and Buick. These partnerships allowed Komatsu to access cutting-edge technologies, including powerful diesel engines and hydraulic excavators, which would help the company expand its product offerings and enhance its machinery's capabilities. Komatsu's ability to adapt and integrate new technologies was a key factor in its growth. And these strategic alliances enabled the company to develop some of the world's most advanced construction machinery. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Komatsu continued to expand its product range and enter new markets, solidifying its position